Very good afternoon to you all and baie welkom vandag. It's good to connect again with you all and to share my thinking, evaluation, opinions of what's been happening over the past few weeks. Please remember to press the like button, share on Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, and Instagram, and press the subscribe button and also press the notification button for future videos, upcoming videos. Okay, today, I'm going to summarize, in my opinion, and for you guys to cross the T's and dot the I's and put your thinking caps on of what's going on so it makes things easier for you to make a decision. I'm going to start off by talking about the situation in Russia with the invasion on Ukraine. And we know that in the past, Ukraine was under the USSR rule, and this collapsed in 1991. Ukraine officially declared itself an independent country in August of the same year, 1991. Then, up to of late, we know that the Russian economy is ranked 43rd out of 45 European countries in that region, and that the overall score is below the regional and world averages. And also that the top 1% of the Russian population controls 71% of the nation's wealth. So we look at the reasons for the invasion. I feel on both sides what NATO is saying in the West and what Putin is saying in the East is irrelevant. What's actually happening here is land grab and power to get control of the economy and have a greater ground influence in the European setup. Why does Putin want Ukraine? Is the bottom line is for money and land. That's how I'm seeing this thing. Furthermore, it strongly appears that Putin wants more European states apart from Ukraine, bordering states, as I see this going forward. So I think his plan is much bigger than what we are seeing at the present moment rolling out in Ukraine. Furthermore, we know that Russia and China's relationship are very close. They're very close allies. I think China is waiting to see what the world is going to do with Russia on Ukraine, and then China will take its chances with then Taiwan. And obviously, we know that China wants South Africa going forward in the future and moving northwards, because China and Russia are very strongly influencing Africa's platform. And this all fits in with the BRICS strategy, BRICS being the Brazil, Russian, Indian, China, and South Africa business strategy to basically, end of the day, get world dominance on the ground and also to influence the West and have a stronger foothold. That's how I see this partnership going forward in the next 10, 15, 20 years. So basically, in summary here, with Russia's invasion with Ukraine is a power grab for land and the economy, with no regard to human life loss. And this we can see similarly happening in South Africa with the RET forces, the Zuma, Ace Magashule crowd, and also the EFF. If we look at the African Union, this is what we know, is that, and we've already mentioned this before in previous videos, and supported by the ruling ANC party, is to eradicate all forms of colonialism from Africa. As I've said before, this includes all farms, all businesses, universities, cities, and statues. This is already happening. It's no news to you. It's just a confirmation. Also, in the African Union mission statements, the promotion of human rights in Africa and South Africa, and again, this is not happening. The exact opposite is happening. Our state, our judiciary system, our political system, by design, is captured for personal enrichment and power by the elite appointed. We also know, and it is well known, that the World Bank and the IMF, in other words, the whites, the Europeans, still donate trillions of dollars to Africa and South Africa. And that the AU remains adamant that they do not want Europeans and they remain anti-white. This is a circus of note, and it should be rectified by the powers that be. So in summary, what we see here with African Union is they don't want Europeans, but their money is greatly wanted. Coming to South Africa, this is what we know, and it's well known that President Cyril Ramaphosa has called for negotiations and mediation between Russia and Ukraine, and that the loss of human life come to an end. But again, a day or two later, it's withdrawn. The statement is withdrawn. So here we see that SADC actually stands with Russia, with the invasion of Ukraine. And of course, this fits in with the BRICS business strategy. We also know that Cyril Ramaphosa has denied farm killings at the UN Security Council 2-3 years ago. This is on record, it's on camera. And we also know that there's been no implementation by the ruling party of any program of sorts or any plan of sorts to budget and a budget to unite all South Africans, black, white, Indian, and colored. And this is what we know. Again, we know that our judicial system is captured, as mentioned many times before. We also know, and it is well known, that all our state-owned enterprises have collapsed due to corruption and malpractice. We also have read of late that the ministers, Zweli, McGimpsey, and Lindiwe Sisulu, are up for election in the December 22 ANC National Conference. And thereafter, we see a total collapse. The ANC is going to go left, and the RT forces will go right. So there's a total breakup in the new year of 2023. These ministers, Zele and Lindiwe, we know that there has issues against them, the digital vibe scandal, and also remarks that were mentioned by Lindiwe Sisulu about Cyril Ramaphosa. So you've got a serious fight within the ANC camp that's building up. We also know that Minister Becky Cele admits that the July riots of 2021 had nothing to do with hunger and poverty, but of insurrection, and that this was a failure. I don't think it was a failure. I think it was planned very, very well. And I think the state forces knew this was coming, but they could not do anything about it. And hence all businesses were plundered and lives were lost. Over 300 lives were lost. We also know that the heads of state intelligence, defense, and police are political appointments, rendering the protection of our people, black, white, Indian, and colored, and their businesses null and void. And this we have obviously seen in the July riots of 2021. We also know that all ranking soldiers and policemen are apolitical, and that they've taken a code of conduct by oath to protect all citizens of South Africa, black, white, Indian, colored, including their businesses. And again, this did not happen to date. In July riots and to date, we can see that the crime stats are high and corruption is still carrying on, and the country is not just growing. Regarding the riots of last year, these 300 or more than 300 lives were lost. The organizers of this rioting are still at large. These political organizers are at large, and they have not yet been brought to book. So we will believe, or would like to believe, that at some stage they would also be remembered on the Human Rights Day services going forward. We know that the looting of business billions is a crime, and that the known political organizers are still at large and have not been brought to book as yet. So in July, up to date, that is it's coming up to 9 months. Soon, we have political organizers that have created this business loss and loss of life of over 300 members are still at large, and nothing is happening. We also know that Operation Dudula is aimed at foreigners, and truck drivers must leave the country, and this is affecting the entire business sector. Strikes keep going on and on and on, and of course, there's just no end to it. We also know that Malema does not want the stem. And of course, 2 weeks back, Malema had said on camera that he has not called for the slaughter of whites for now. And that keeps on going. That's still on the cards. And during his court case, he should have been locked up for what he said on camera. But he's still walking around promoting division, racial division, etc., etc. We also have read in the papers of late that the ruling party government is bringing strict laws for transformation, and still there's no delivery of services. It just goes on and on. And then lastly, here we see the coalition governments can't govern. Nothing, there's no service delivery taking place. Roads are still unserviced, potholes everywhere, street lights aren't working, robots aren't working, and this is not going to happen. This coalition government can't govern with the likes of the EFF and the radical ANC members still within their structures to this date. Okay, in summary and closure, this is what we know. We know that, and this is actually something to think about, is where there's chaos, there's always more opportunity for us. And for those businessmen that know this, can see these opportunities, and this is where one should stand together and approach this problem and find solutions. What we know also with Russia's situation with Ukraine and the neighboring states can happen here. The power grab for the economy, the situation with China, Taiwan, and South Africa, it's a copy-paste of what is to come in South Africa. We know that the African Union is against us in our past histories, and the same for the ruling ANC party and all its affiliates. So, we further know that crime and corruption and deception is on the increase. We read this daily, weekly, monthly in the papers, and there's no end to this. Right, then it comes to decision time. When are we going to acknowledge and come to terms with the situation in the country? And when are we going to confront, and when are we going to unite? Our leaders back in the 1900s did not have a plan to protect their people. Yes, they were good soldiers, and yes, there were lots of good things that were done, but there wasn't a plan. And that's why our women and children were rounded up and kept in concentration camps. So that brings me to this present situation. We need a plan, or you need a plan. We have a plan. You need a plan. And the plan is then you need to join the Southland Defense, Suidland Verdediging, or the Suidlanders. Please join. Consider this. It is an alternative. If you have an insurance policy or a retirement annuity, then it would be obvious for you to have a plan in the case of anarchy. Suidlanders and Southland Defense have a national emergency plan that kicks in when the state can no longer care or protect you, which is apparently not far away, as we see now. There's just no cohesion. There's no rule of law. People do what they want in the courts. It just goes on and on and on. So then for you to decide to join, then there's links below. Please click on the links below. It'll take you through a process. And yeah, it would be nice to have you all on board. Please listen up. It's important to have a plan in times of anarchy. Life carries on as normal, but should anarchy break out, then at least you know for 100 Rand a month, there is a national emergency plan that you can be part of and can be proud of, that it kicks in, and then you will be safe. Thank you for this time. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk again soon. Please remember to like, share on all possible and available platforms, subscribe, and press the notification buttons. I'm looking forward to then talking to you again soon. Stay well, safe, and keep sharp. Tot ziens, and Groete. Cheers.